Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the West Ham Network. This is your predicted 11. This is your starting 11 predictions, or a team that I think that David Moyes should put out against a kind of goal-scoring machine you could call Aston Villa. You know, they're sitting currently 6th in the league. They've played 8 games. They've won 5 under Emery, drew 1, lost 2, scored 19 goals, conceded 12 with a goal difference of 7. They've got 16 points, 2 points ahead of West Ham. A massive game for both clubs today to try and not cement, but kind of show the Premier League who is here to stay in the position that they are. West Ham sitting just behind Aston Villa with 8 games played, won 4, drew 2, lost 2, scored 15 goals and conceded 12. So we've both conceded the same amount of goals. Aston Villa just edging West Ham by a further 4 goals. And today, again, at Villa Park, is going to be a tough one. But I think it all comes down to and depends on what West Ham will turn up against Aston Villa today. So without further ado, let's get straight into it and start speaking to you about our starting 11. So put your comments in as we go through this and let me know your thoughts on the predictive 11. Now, listen, without further ado, there's no point in beating about the bush. When it comes to the goalkeeper, Areola slots in. He's done really well. I think he's performed really well. And I think he's deserved of his spot as the starting Premier League goalkeeper. So we're going to move into our defence. Now, David Moyes did say that we shouldn't really have any issues for leading into this game. So I've made a few little cheeky changes. Whether or not David Moyes does it is something we'll have to wait and see. But I've put a Gerd in. Lots of people digging him out this season. I don't see it as much as they do. I think he is going to be a bright future. Got a bright future at West Ham, and him and Zuma are picking up a bit of a partnership as well in the back line. Now, when you look through the Premier League table, there are only 6 teams in total that have conceded less goals than West Ham in total from the Premier League. So as much as you're saying the errors that he's making, he has still not had a full long season at West Ham if you consider the injury that he did have. But he's a no-brainer for me, and long may that continue. And he built up that partnership with Kurt Zuma as well, who have got in beside him in the central of defence. Moving into the fullback position, Vladimir Coufal. You know what? I think there's some crazy stat about 4 assists in his last 4 games or something like that. And he's been on fire and he's finding his form again. And he's really getting that hard work rate down the right-hand side. Something we missed from him at the earlier part of last season, but he found it laterally in the part of last season. And he's starting to pick up his form as well this year. And long may that continue. The next player, the other side, what I will say to you all is this guy, Emerson Palmieri, has gone under the radar and has been one of the signings from last season who's performing top notch, and he's building up such a nice rapport with the midfielders as well as we move through them. So a very good addition to the squad. I think we still need to look at that area should Creswell leave the club, which I think it's inevitable that he will, but I think we're going to be looking in that area to strengthen and give Emerson as much support as we possibly can. Let me move into midfield for you, and the first person coming in is Alvarez. Now, people may think that he may have a bit of fatigue coming back from Mexico playing in the internationals, and David Moyes kind of hinted at players potentially traveling back, etc. But I think he is going to feature. I think there's a little bit of smoke and mirrors coming from David Moyes with regards to Alvarez and some of the players that have come back. So I think he slots in there. He is one more booking away from a suspension, but do you know what? He's fantastic at doing his job. And I think we're going to need that battle in the midfield. That's the key part here, as well as the battle in the midfield. Now, interestingly, as you can see, I've put him in the middle of that area, and I'm going with James Ward-Prowse. I think that's a no-brainer for me. He's been performing really well. His stats are up there, left, right, and centre, and he is performing unbelievable in a West Ham shirt. And it's, you know, set pieces and his all-round game has been fantastic. And alongside him is Paqueta. Now, you're seeing a player I've missed, and that is Tommy Souček. Now, I think Tommy Souček has been in some of the form of his life, and I am saying to you what changes I would like to be made for the game today. And I feel like the game today is deserved of a team like this, albeit it's probably going to be Souček in the 4 of the midfield, or 5 in the midfield that's going to be happening there. But I would like to see Paqueta, Ward-Prowse and Alvarez be that midfield 3 and be that flamboyant self that they are. Of course, as usual, Jared Bowen out on the right-hand side. Again, he's in fighting form, unbelievable form, and it's really good. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. I've actually just gone for it. I've gone Kudus, but I've gone Kudus out on the left because putting him out there, look at that left-hand side. Emerson Paqueta and Kudus. It's really exciting. But then look at the right-hand side. Sefao, Ward-Prowse and Bowen. Like, really exciting opportunities going forward. Of course, leading the line. Antonio, I think he will still lead the line for West Ham. But what this does is it gives us an option to change things in the game should we need to do it. So if Antonio does have to come off, you put Kudus up front, you bring Souček into the team, and you put Paqueta out wide. That gives you options. Short, sweet, straight to the point. Predicted starting 11. Let me know your thoughts. Souček dropping to the bench. No Ben Rama starting. Antonio starting the game. Kudus starting the game as well. David Moyes hinted at it at the press conference. Whether he does it, who knows? We've got big games coming up. Put your comments in. Let me know your thoughts on my predicted 11. And there you go for it now. And join me later on for the Matchday Live, because I will be bringing you a Matchday Live. Come on, you Irons.